Very good morning and welcome to Athavan News. Today is Saturday, 23rd of January 2016. Paper highlights read by Edward Udedas Devasagayam Pillai. Now let's move to today's Daily Mirror. Sri Lanka and the EU discuss UNHRC resolution. An exchange of information took place on the government's plans for further constitutional and legislative measures, including consultation with the Sri Lankan people on a new constitution and the repeal of the Prevention of Terrorism Act and its replacement with a comprehensive National Security Act. Sri Lanka and the European Union's Working Group on Governance, Rule of Law and Human Rights have recognized the full implementation of the UN Human Rights Council UNHRC resolution as a priority. At a meeting held on Thursday, both sides exchanged views on ongoing consultations on the establishment of domestic reconciliation and accountability mechanisms. Maithripala Sirisena tells education officials syllabuses must be uncomplicated. The Ministry of Education should prepare the school curriculum in a manner that will help children to cope with it, President Maithripala Sirisena said, adding that he had received complaints from parents that the grades 5 and 6 syllabuses were extremely complicated. Even Indians can invest in Hambantota port, PM. Foreign investors, including Indian businessmen, are welcomed to invest in the other Sri Lankan ports as well. The Hambantota port and the investment zone are open to any investor from any country, including Indian businessmen, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said on Thursday. Rejected lover assaults brother, abducts girl. A gang that abducted a 25-year-old female Grama Niladhari of Varani in Jaffna was taken into custody by the Kodikamam police at Pudukudiripu area. Now let's move to today's daily news. PM meets ADB Chief. ADB comments Sri Lankan's achievements. Country has made vast strides in democracy, human rights and freedom of people. Asian Development Bank Chairman Takehio Nakao yesterday pledged more financial and technological support to Sri Lanka as the country has made tremendous achievements in the field democracy, human rights and freedom of people. The ADB chairman made these remarks when he called on Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on the sidelines of World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Their meeting focused on how the ADB can provide further assistance for the development of Sri Lanka. ADB chairman said that he will be in Sri Lanka to extensively discuss on how ADB can provide assistance to Sri Lanka next month. He said that the Asian Development Bank is ready to assist Sri Lanka to restore its earlier place on the world map as a democratic and free country. President tells BBC Sri Lanka wants internal war crime court. President Maithripala Sirisena has said foreign judges and prosecutors should not be involved in an investigation into allegations of war crimes. In a BBC interview, President Sirisena said the country did not need to import specialists. But on Thursday, the president said, "I will never agree to international involvement in this matter. We have more than enough specialists, experts and knowledgeable people in our country to solve our internal issues," the president said. Kidney transplants for foreigners. 29 cases put on hold after government suspension. Following the government's suspension on kidney transplants for foreigners, 29 cases scheduled to undergo the procedure has been put on hold. The ministry has also taken a number of key measures in an attempt to streamline the approval process, including sports visits to observe ethics committee proceedings at each private hospital by Health Ministry officials, Director of Private Health Services Department, Dr. Kanti Ariyaratna said. Finally, let us move to Ceylon today. Major investment initiative success. Ranil ends Davos on high note. Premier Ranil Wickremesinghe's third day at the Davos World Economic Forum in Switzerland began with an event dubbed Working Breakfast Meet the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. Attending the event were some of creme de la creme of the global political and financial spheres. Bluffing about fraud, corruption. Rajitha and co. disgusted. Urge Maitri Ranil to act now. Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratna, Arjuna Ranadunga and several civil society groups who were responsible for the formation of the current UNP-SLFP national government, are set to meet the President and the Prime Minister for a special discussion next week. The ministers and the civil society groups during these discussions are expected to draw the attention of the President and the Prime Minister to the failure of the government to punish members of the former Mahinda Rajapaksa regime found guilty of large-scale fraud and corruption. Hybrid court statement. TNA Slams President. TNA Northern Province MP MK Sivaji says the party flatly rejected President Maithripala Sirisena's statement in an interview with the BBC that there was no need for a hybrid court in the country. Sivaji said even the US-sponsored resolution to the UN clearly stipulates the need to seek the services of foreign judges for the judicial process in Sri Lanka. Hence, the President's statement constitutes a denial of a statement in the US resolution. With that, we come to an end of today's paper highlights. We will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to Athavan News.